How's it going, everyone? Looks like we got about 60 people with us. Also, how could I forget? Welcome to another day in the Matrix. This is Red Pill Podcast number 100. We made it. So yeah, this will be the first Red Pill Podcast live. Who knows, maybe we'll do these again. I forgot whose idea this was. Somebody brought this up to me. But here we are. Just go ahead and let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if the audio sounds good. I made sure to send out the notifications over on our Discord, so hopefully everyone... All right, I'm seeing everyone join in. Beautiful. How's everyone doing today? We're just going to give like the first 5 minutes or so to get some people to join. Say hi to some people in the community. Then we're going to be going straight into the dates. I have some interesting stuff to share with you guys. Also a little bit of a recap from the last podcast that I did and my last YouTube video. Want to take a quick look at the S&P chart as well. It's been a little bit of time since we've looked at the indices, but I'm sure some of you that are interested in technical analysis have probably watched the Dow Jones have a little bit of a break of support, so I think that might be something we could get into if you guys could remind me. Definitely want to look at that S&P chart because there's something special that I want to show you. And then as well, we're going to be going over pretty much what we usually do, starting with Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP. Going to be going over, I decided to pick 2 of the coins that you guys voted on because I wanted to open up the end of this live stream to going over a bunch of projects, kind of our way of celebrating Red Pill Podcast number 100. So instead of doing the normal 4 to 5 different altcoins that you guys voted on, I'm just picking 2 this week. I went with Constellation DAG and Stellar Lumens. I was actually surprised that I haven't touched on Stellar Lumens since November. I guess it's not really done a whole lot. Pretty much follows XRP, so no need to go over it regularly. But then after that, we're going to be going straight into the live chat. So I'm going to be opening up the live chat and we're going to be looking over some of the projects that you guys are interested in, kind of like a freestyle. Going with the flow. I'll probably be able to get to maybe 5 or 7 projects. I want to try to get this at least an hour and a half, so a little bit longer than our usual Red Pills. I have a cutoff time of 10:30 a.m. I really do need to finish up by then, but again, I'm going to do my best to get through the intro material and everything as fast as possible for you guys. And right now, I'm just letting everyone join in, as I brought up a moment ago. So I hope you guys are doing amazing. Red Pill 100, and get relaxed, get comfortable. It's morning time where I'm at, so I'm drinking some coffee. Hope you're all doing incredible. It's amazing to see. We got about 75 people here with us. I appreciate y'all. Give it about 1 more minute, and then I'll be kicking things off with some dates. In the meantime, how's it going, everyone? Got Lolo Blondo with us. Chile, South Texas in the house. Dion. Mr. Jansen, I appreciate you showing up, brother. I hope you're doing incredible. And also, Mr. Jansen, you don't have to feel obligated to do this at all. I appreciate any of your help. But maybe if you later, when we're at the point where I'm done with the altcoins that were voted on and I open up the live chat, if you want to just look out for some of the repeating projects that people keep bringing up. Don't want to confuse you with this, but basically if you just want to look out for some of the projects that people keep bringing up the most, maybe you can just kind comment what you're seeing, and because you have a mod wrench, I'll see it a lot easier. Again, completely up to you. Don't want to stress you out. I want everyone to have a nice relaxing time here on Red Pill 100, but any help could be appreciated with that ending section, because it'll just allow me to get through as many projects as possible. And also, by the way, no decoding. If I feel the need to decode something, I will at the end, but I really don't want to be opening up the live chat for decodes. It'll take me too long and it'll kill time. And these podcasts are more to get into the TA. So I don't want to be opening this up for doing gematria decodes on projects. And I told you guys before that I'm working on a new course for 2023. It's going to be a esoterica decoding mastermind. It's going to be my first full-blown tutorial video from start to finish on solely decoding. It's been highly requested. A lot of people are interested in it because I've been reaching out to more communities like Archaics and One-on-One and Donut Factory, and a lot of people that aren't necessarily 100% focused on crypto or focused on the markets or money in any capacity. They still know of the decoding skills and the gnosis that we have over here. So I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to teach on the mythologies, teach on etymology, teach on just all the things that I'm aware of that I've been breaking down piece by piece in all of my content, but haven't really formulated a thorough course on it. And I want to design it exactly how I did with the expansion mastermind, because I got a lot of great feedback with that. A lot of people were enjoying the expansion mastermind and how I set that one up, where it feels like I'm almost coaching you through it. So it'll be like a coaching, decoding mastermind project. That's what I'm working on. I don't have a date for that yet, but the reason I'm bringing this up right now is because when you get that and you go through it, you're going to be able to decode anything you want. And that's really the whole point. So instead of me decoding cryptos, I'm teaching the skill, and then you guys could go have fun. That's really what I want for everyone. I want people to become self-reliant decoders and self-reliant analysts and self-reliant investors and self-reliant humans. Anyways, we got about 100 people in here. Let's get to some of the dates. Again, I appreciate you all joining. I'm going to be getting to this live chat at the end. So appreciate y'all. Let's go. All right. So first things first. Oh, and by the way, Red Pill Podcast 100. I appreciate every single one of you. I'm super grateful. Seriously, I can't believe we made it this far. The gratitude is pouring out of me. I really mean it. It means the world to me to be with you guys and to be on this journey and to be doing it as a collective. To be doing it at a time, especially where the world is in the state and condition it's in. I feel very privileged. I'm very grateful for you guys. I seriously love you. So if you're new here, again, I appreciate you. It's great to have you in the wolf pack. If you've yet to get Discord access, just make sure to read the description at the top of this Patreon post. When this video is over, it will show you the instructions to do that. And next week, we'll be back in our flow of doing the normal 4 to 5 different altcoins that you guys vote on. So make sure to submit your votes in the comment section. And then that way, the ones that get the most thumbs up in the Patreon post of this Red Pill podcast is the way that I will know what coins to select. And I don't know how I'm going to do this yet. I might repost this video after the live stream, or I might just keep it up the way that it is. But regardless, when this is done by today, tomorrow, it'll look like a normal Patreon post that you guys usually see. But this is our first time live streaming, so kind of learning to go with this new flow as we go. So I appreciate you guys, and if there's any hiccups along the way, I appreciate your understanding. So I just want to quickly recap February 24th, because that was a date that we pointed out in the last podcast, as well as I pointed it out in my last YouTube video. And the big connection here was February 24th connected to April 20th, which is the upcoming solar eclipse. You can see this right here, solar eclipse on April 20th, and this being 55 days apart, as well as February 24th being the 55th day of the year. And that was connecting us back to Satoshi Nakamoto And you could see right there with that 55 and multiple ciphers, as well as Satoshi Nakamoto has the 181 and the 89, and 181 is the 42nd prime number, whilst 89 is the 24th prime number, as above, so below. 89 being the 24th prime number connects us to the 24th day of this month. So another huge connection is the fact that this date numerology here, double-digit date numerology, equals 69, which is Bitcoin's current all-time high. It is also 55 days moving over to the 110th day. So we have like a lot of numerology to consider here. And we knew the pivot date, which was the day before this. The 223 date in the 223 year is 8 weeks apart, and 8 weeks is 7 weeks and 7 days, the 77, which has everything to do with this year because we're in the year of Jubilee. 7 times 7 is your 49th year, and practiced on the 50th year is your Jubilee cycle. I'm sure a lot of you know this already, but this 2-day window between the 223 date and the 223 year, skull and bones reversed, moving into this particular date with the 55 connection, was big. So I'm just going to go over the charts real quick, and we're going to look at the daily, and you're going to see clear that this day was volatile, and not only for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, but for the entire stock market. Just wanted to point that out also because the high of that day, the cutoff into the daily open, was 24,000 on the wick. Now we had $24,000 Bitcoin on the 24th day, tying us with the 55 to Satoshi Nakamoto, which 89 is the 24th prime number. Wow, right? So a lot of confluence, and I'm just sharing this with you guys so you could see the method to the madness here. You know, a lot of people that come over to this channel that are brand new, there's skepticism for sure, and I could completely understand why. And it's hard for me to reiterate all these nuances in every single YouTube video. You know, it's hard sometimes, but I know those of you that are more open-minded and you're aware of esoteric and you see the code for what it is, this type of stuff just makes sense to you. You know, it's almost intuitive. That's how finding Gematria was for me. It was just an intuitive thing. And then I tied it with the mythologies and I brought it to these charts, and well, I'm well aware that this is all just an algorithm. It's just algorithmic. That's why this system of combining Gematria, numerology, and astrology is so profound when you bring it to the charts, because the charts are, I don't want to call them real, but they are. What has happened in the price of the past is what would be showing up in your portfolio or in your wallet if you were to make a buy or a sell. So this is tangible evidence. And when you have these prices that are correlating with the esoterica, then it's undeniable. And that's a big reason to get into the TA as well. So some people are like anti-TA and some people are anti-Gematria, and that's on them. Doesn't change my stance. But this is giving it gives everyone both, right? And it allows time for the conversion of people to see the truth behind this code. So moments like this are very confirming. And we've had tons of these confirmations this whole year, and it's only been in a couple of months of the year. Anyone who's been following my work now since the start of the last Shemitah, well, you'll know as well that we've been really able to identify these big pivot points, able to identify how the market would react or respond to big energies and shifts in global, economic factors coming in, and disregarding the narratives along the way, disregarding whenever people were saying market crashes would happen and, is this the bottom? Is this the top? All of that kind of stuff is just there to confuse people. This is why I wanted everyone to learn this code, because then you no longer need to be caught in other people's emotional sentiment or in other influencers, hype. You can just look at the chart on your own and be able to decide for yourself what makes sense and what is clearly a psyop. Anywho, getting back to this, I hope that connection that is come and gone. Remember, I told you about the 24th before it even happened. And here we are. We've watched this come to fruition. So just wanted to share that little recap, because hopefully some of that stuff can be of utility to you moving forward. Well, let's get to a couple. Oh, actually, now that I have that in mind, because the 24th was not only a big pullback for Bitcoin, it was also a big pullback for the markets. You can see the Dow coming down about 333 points, but let's look at the S&P. Okay, I want to look at this chart, and this looks great. Okay, so you can clearly see here, this is a very important trend, and we have all of these tops, lower highs, and then finally, we actually had a break out of this resistance into the 3rd of February, about the 2nd, 3rd of February, and started making another high. And when you went higher than this, which we did, this confirms this low as basically a higher low, and now you're in a trend reversal. So what I'm talking about here is you have high, lower, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower high, and then right here, you're at the start of a pivot, but you cannot confirm that this is a higher low until you broke the microstructure high, which has come and gone. Now, this is a solid sign alongside the fact that we have 1 rejection, 2 rejection, 3 rejections, 4 rejections going on for a year. And then breaking that resistance, that's really strong. So having this trend reversal plus breaking this long-term trend resistance is really, really good. It's a good thing. Now let's zoom in and see what could be the third really good thing. And it's back testing the outside of this trend line to confirm a prior resistance as a potentially new support. And I believe that's kind of what we're in the making of. It's hard to tell because we got a wick right here. It doesn't need to be perfectly back tested because we're working with a pretty volatile market over the past 2 to 3 years. As you're aware, during this whole cycle right here, the Federal Reserve injected in 1 year the same amount of or more money supply than its entire existence going back to 1913. So this is all nonsense. Some say it's manipulation, but it really is just making this market really nonsensical. And now we're getting this choppy volatility that's making these charts almost look like altcoin charts or something. You know, this stuff used to be very stable and very chill. And now it's like the market just has so much more volatility than it used to 10 or 15 years ago. And of course, there's a lot of reasons why. It's not just the Federal Reserve printing all this money. It's also we have a lot more players in this game because we have people with cell phones that could just be anywhere at any time and buy a stock. You can be getting gas, and while you're filling up your car, you could break out your cell phone and go on Robinhood app and buy a stock. You couldn't do that 15 years ago. You know, it was literally impossible. So now we have a lot more players in the game. We have a lot more speculation, and we also have lots of destabilization in the economy, which is making retail want to be a player because they think they'll get rich quick. You know, there's so many facets to this, but getting back to the TA of it all, I really like these signs and signals I'm getting. So we have low, lower high, lower low, lower high, higher low, confirmed higher low, because now we're getting this higher high break of structure. And then on top of that, we're back testing not only the outside of this prior resistance, but we're back testing the 3A2. And the one thing I don't like about this is the fact that we shot from the 236 to above the 0.5 and almost got into the 618. This is not, it's not the best, but because we've been doing this for a year now, I'm not going to take what I just said into the top 3 important reasons. It's not even tertiary, it's lower than that. But I'm just, again, as an analyst, I need to be very thorough here. And we're looking at stocks right now. We're looking at an indices. So just want to be clear. If we were looking at crypto, I wouldn't like that sign right there. That would be my way of saying that this 382 better hold, or we're sliding to the 236. If that doesn't hold, we're double bottoming, and then now we're on this double bottom retest. Not necessarily the healthiest thing because then you missed out on that opportunity. And it would be unlikely that this is the end of this relief rally for even the stock market. Of course, we're going to get into crypto in a moment, but it would be unlikely because we typically do not stall out at these moments. We tend to go up into around the Taurus timeframe and roll over into the summertime. And we eventually have our lowest lows into the fall, and that makes a lot of sense going to the analysis that I shared with you guys in the Jubilee Decoded video, which you could watch as Patreon supporters. And I told you that we typically see a bottom 1 year after the Shemitah is over. So if that's coming in at September of 2022, you could actually assume that 1 year later, September 2023 into October, would be your key time frame for a so-called bottom in the stock market. I'm not talking about crypto, but in the stock market. So this gives me confidence, more confidence of a probability of a bounce here. And with this bounce, I don't necessarily think that the stocks are going to go as violently to the upside as crypto will. But one thing to note is even with how bearish the Dow has been over the past couple of days, past week, it's not been hurting crypto as much. Because if you go back here, look at December 2022, all right? Just want to show you a little comparison. So this is December 2022 in crypto. Bitcoin's trading at 16,000. And look at the Dow. The Dow is pretty much back to the December 2022 lows, whilst we're sitting here at 23,000 Bitcoin. So it's not as negative on Bitcoin. And the reason I told you why is because we're moving into a solar eclipse and Bitcoin is the artificial sun of Satoshi. So I taught you guys that it's very important to, at some point, disregard all the technicals that are coming in for the stocks and just look at Bitcoin for what it is, which is purely moving on astrology. All right. And this is proving itself because according to the similarities of price on the Dow to crypto, Ethereum should technically be about $800 right now or $900. But that's not the case. It's about 100% above that. So just pay attention to this kind of stuff, guys. Even though this is very bearish looking for the Dow, we have this triangle formation that's broken. And what could be the measured move on this? Let me just quickly see. I'll be conservative with this pull because we are looking at a stock at the end of the day. Yeah, we're looking. And actually, I would rather do this in linear. It's a key little trick for you guys whenever you're doing your TA with trying to find measured moves on pennants, triangles, etc. You want to be in linear before you do the measured move. Oh, that's not looking good. But if we were to time this out, yeah, if this continues to slide and break below the double bottom structure, gonna be weird. But again, it doesn't seem to be affecting crypto as much as it would have back in this part of the cycle where we had a lunar eclipse, So this is the Dow long term. Remember, we had our lunar eclipse right around here. And remember how horrible it was for cryptocurrency. It didn't even affect the Dow. But for crypto, it brought the market down severely. We saw Terra Luna pretty much go to zero. So just think about these things in isolation. That's why when I focus on crypto, I'm talking about everything, when I focus on the astrology, it's always focused on crypto. I'm not really concerned what the fuck the stock market does in the short term. I look at it from a different perspective. It's helpful, but not the most helpful thing when you're working with crypto, which moves much faster. And this is something that I taught in my cryptocurrency mastermind course 2 years, September, October of 2021. I told everyone that we see the stock market cycle is about 6 to 7 years, while the crypto cycle is about 3 to 4. So it's faster. And now we're at a phase of the market where crypto is going to disregard some of the things that the market does as a whole. Now, with that being said, if the stock market just crashed today, well, then of course, crypto would move with that to the downside. But if we just mosey on down to some of our targets, get back to a balance point, it's not going to be as effective at bringing Bitcoin down at this stage. And ultimately, if Bitcoin comes down, everything else comes down. You guys know that by now. So let's get into a couple other dates. We have let me get to today. Okay, so today, remember I brought this up in my last Red Pill podcast as well. It's the 57th day of the year. We just had Super Bowl 57. But the key point here is that we have 53 days until the April eclipse, and solar eclipse is giving you 53 in full reduction. So we have that 53-53 connection. Definitely something we're in a pivot energy. And the reason why this matters today is because we have the stock market, we have the Dow Jones, precious metals, Forex, as well as Chicago Mercantile Exchange, all opening up slightly before our weekly close. And our weekly close today is super important because it's a bi-weekly closure. So we're going to be having our bi-weekly close come in the day before our monthly close, which is also our bi-monthly close. So the next 48 hours are really critical. And I prepared you guys with this in the last Red Pill podcast. I spoke about that technical factor to keep in mind. Those are really big macro candle closures. Okay, so another thing quickly about solar eclipse is we have that 134, and that ties us into Ripple XRP with the 134 anagram of pi, 3.14. That 134 is really interesting. I know it shows up in a lot of ways, so you guys could feel free to share in the chat if any of you decoders know about the 134. 1 second, let me just take a sip of coffee real quick. All right, we're back. And tomorrow being the first quarter moon. And remember what I've been teaching you guys lately. It seems that the first and third quarter moons are our microcycle lows. It's like been an amazing thing to see how ever since our last eclipse, these first quarter and third quarter moons have become more accurate at determining bottoms. I am really diving deep into all of the astrological functions here, and as a decoder, I want to simplify things for you guys before I share the things. I don't like hitting you guys with tons of complicated jargon, so by the time I reveal concepts, it's usually been me spending a lot of personal time chipping away, trimming the fat to give you guys what matters most. And as of lately, I've been noticing these first quarter and third quarter moons have been seemingly the microcycle bottoms. I'm not confirming that long term. I'm just saying as of lately, since especially those last two lunar eclipses we had, which was the Terra Luna washout and the FTX washout. Clearly, crypto rituals for blockchain, rituals for getting the retail to feel a specific way about crypto, etc. And that was all on eclipses. But now we're moving into a solar eclipse, which I told everyone is bullish. And ever since that pivot out into this new year, I feel like that's what's making more sense to me, why these first quarter and third quarter moons could be more accuracy. Ultimately, it's still the same though, because our new moons are bullish, typically. Full moons are bearish. And we spoke about how, and we corrected something that a lot of people were getting lost in, which is that you don't long a new moon. You want to set yourself up into the energy that you're moving into. So you would be longing a full moon to get out of it on a new moon. Meaning new moons are bullish because the market moves into things. It never goes in reverse. Unfortunately, a market is stuck on a linear timeline. It was weird to have to explain this to people because I thought it was just common sense. But people were really getting lost in this idea that I should short a full moon. And first of all, none of this is trading advice. But why would you short a bearish time frame? Right? Just think about it. But I think the mind is getting tricked here for whatever reason. You short when the market is up and you long when the market is down. That's how you have the opportunity to actually work with the trend. It's like sailing versus rowing a boat. When you trade, you want to become a sailor. You want to work with the winds and the elements and deal with all the chaos of what's going on. If a hurricane's coming your way, you have risk management in place, right? But you want to be just basic here and not overthink shit. And if you go back to our new moon, which I'll just show you really quickly, the new moon was the 20th of February. We hit 25K, and then we started going away from the new moon into what we have coming soon, which is the full moon. You short from new moons and reverse, right? I hope that makes sense for people. It's just funny. It's funny sometimes how people get lost in that. And then I told everyone specifically about February 13th for the last 3 months, four months maybe. And that was the perfect low that we got on that third quarter moon. So I'm not messing around with these third quarter and first quarter moons. And the reason I'm speaking on this right now is because what's tomorrow? Tomorrow is our first quarter moon. And here we are, Bitcoin seemingly having some of a retest back into prior levels. Great. It's actually looking really healthy. I love this pullback we're getting right now. I'm personally probably going to be buying a little more crypto into this upcoming full moon, pivoting out of it at least to stay conservative. But yeah, just hope that helps for people. And a lot of people are asking me to make a full-blown tutorial video on the moon cycles again. I probably will. I just need to carve out the time to do that because I would need to make a presentation. If I'm going to do something on it, it needs to be a full presentation. Probably get it down to 20 minutes, 30 minutes, hopefully. And then I'll add that to the Crypto Mastermind course. I'll re-upload it again, like a double to the exit strategy blueprint, and then I'll share it with you guys here on Patreon. And I believe that could be very, very thorough. But this isn't anything I've been hiding. I've been talking about this publicly, candidly, for 2 years now. So the reason for the presentation would just be to have a very thorough, dedicated video to it. So there's no more confusion how this works. But I'm bringing all this up because tomorrow is a first quarter moon and we're getting really damn close to this upcoming solar eclipse. So I want to take these times a little bit more seriously when I talk about them with you guys. So thinking about this pivot into the 27th, let's talk about this and then we're going to move on to some of the TA. We have about an hour left in this live stream. I hope everyone's doing amazing. It's great to do this with you guys. I actually really enjoy this flow. It's pretty similar to what I normally do, but I know I could look forward to chatting with you guys at the end and answering some questions. So tomorrow, first quarter moon, we're opening up on a moon day, Monday. Keep that in mind. And speaking of Ripple XRP, I was just talking about them with that connection of the 134. Well, it's the 58th day of the year, and that 58, of course, you have in XRP. Big. So keep that in mind. Another connection as well is it's a 72 date numerology. You guys are probably aware where I'm going to go with this. We have Bitcoin is the 72 as well as money is the 72. And what brings this all together is the fact that it's 52 days until the upcoming solar eclipse, and 52 is cryptocurrency, which you can see right there. Also, we have the 25 in crypto, as above, so below. So this is definitely an interesting date, 52nd day, 52 days until this date. We have that 58, we have that 72, and then the standard date numerology with that very important number 18, one of the most important numbers in Judaism. And it's a number that's tied to specifically money. In Judaism, when they give gifts, it's in increments of 18. Anyone who's a decoder should be well aware of that. So couple other things to mention is if we connect this date to Rosh Hashanah, which is on the 16th, a Saturn day, and it is 201 days. You guys have probably heard of Event 201, Agenda 21. So we remove that 0 and it's the 21 and it's on a Saturn day. And of course, Saturn giving you that 21, which you've heard a million times. So this 201 connection is definitely big. And then into the last day of Jubilee, we have 202 days. You remove the 0, you have the 22. Last day of Jubilee on a Sunday, the day of the sun, and you have that 69 date numerology tying back to Bitcoin's all-time high, but also more esoterically, the 6-9 is just the yin-yang. It's balance. It's the Cancer sign. It's the portal of man. It's the the top of the royal arch. It's big. Could even perceive it as the two fish of Pisces is another way of looking at it. Anyways, I digress. With that 24 date numerology, definitely going to be an interesting time frame because this moving out of that energy is the defeat of Saturn, which is done by Jupiter, and 24 is the Jupiter zodiac logo, right? And that 105 days left in the year, the number 15, that is also tied to Jupiter through everything we discussed last year when we were in the year of the tiger. Tiger in Chaldean equals 15. Very important date. And the fact that it's on a Sunday, I don't think it's going to affect the markets as noticeably on that day, but probably on our next open, which look at that. It's a Monday, day of the moon. We got that 18 tying us to that 18 right there. It's 203 days, like we're in the Hebrew year. We are leaving the Hebrew year 5783 the day later. And Bitcoin gives you 23 in Chaldean. Mercury gives you 23 in Chaldean. Mercury tied to finance, commerce, fiat money, money created out of thin air. It's beautiful, beautiful setup. And that 70 is a number we spoke about a lot last year too. It was tied to the Platinum Jubilee, which was the end of that queen's reign, leading to her alleged death, and to 25, bringing us right back to crypto. I gotta stop. I could keep going. But let's just say that tomorrow ties into a lot of stuff. And remember what I just said, it is our bi-weekly close. We're moving into a bi-monthly close. Huge. Really big, important candle closures coming up. So with that being said, let me get through Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, TA, and then I'll get to hanging out with you guys and answering some of your questions. So first things first, I want to get to a clean chart. I'll show you guys something really quick. It's been a while since I've done short-term TA. I try to focus more on the macro right now because that's what matters most, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pull a fib, and I'm going to pull my fib from this swing high to the current cycle low. And you're going to see what we're getting here. Okay. By the way, I'm on a logarithmic scale and my fib right now is not on log setting. It is turned off. So fibs level based on log scale off. Let me actually tune into the chat while I have this just to make sure. Un minuto. Hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. I'm gonna have to do this on my phone because I'm unable to. I'm archaic over here, guys. I'm archaic. All right, I love you guys. Let's get back to it. All right, so I'm just showing you really quickly. We have our swing high to swing low. It's almost an instant fib pull, and then we have a bunch of data coming in. And you could see where Bitcoin topped out at about 25K. Remember, 25 is a big number for crypto and Bitcoin. You could see crypto is the 25, but also BTC, the ticker symbol, gives you that 25. So it's definitely important. And Y is the 25th letter in the alphabet. It's probably some really dope decoding we could do on the English alphabet, the language of the world, the new world language, the new world spell. So from a technical perspective, you guys are usually seeing me lately hold these fibs with fibs level based on log scale turned on, but we're not doing that right now because we're doing a shorter term time frame and we're working with crypto. It's very volatile. This kind of goes back to the way I used to teach how to use fibs in my shorter term TA lessons back in the Crypto Mastermind course. Okay, so you can see a beautiful thing here, which is swing high, swing low, playing on the 236 for a while, coming up to this 0.5 fib on a wick. That's very normal in the short term. Snaking around this 236, and then just out of nowhere, the moment we break that 382 and the structural high, we shoot up into our 888 fib, which is very esoteric. It's something I've taught you guys about for crypto, and that's exactly how this all went. You can see 888, we stalled out for a moment, and then once we broke through that, we went straight to this 1618. But what I love about what happened was we overextended, had a little bit of a crown distributional top, and back tested the prior high. That back test was healthy, and it was really nice to see. It was welcomed because over here, you probably remember I was talking about bearish divergences forming on the 12-hour. We had overheated RSI on the 12-hour. I think RSI got to 95. It's insane. So that pullback was needed, and it was perfect, the low on my date that I called out of February 13th. So I'm happy that happened, not because I got the call right, but because I needed to put some money in the market. I wanted to invest, and it was really great when you have a plan and you stick to your plan, and all the TA preparation that you do comes to fruition, and then you have that opportunity to trade the plan. Beautiful execution. I hope everyone took all of that very seriously and was able to benefit by getting into some positions while the market is still at in this energy before it moves up to its new leg higher. So getting back to this, stalling out at the 1618 is very normal. It's technical target. And then when we're looking at the fib based in linear scale, so not having that fib setting turned on, it's normal for us to make it up to about the 4236. That's a very normal level in crypto. And there's been times where we can get to 4618 or up to the 6. It's a little more rare in Bitcoin, though. It's a lot more normal in altcoins. So you can see our 0.5 still gets us below this structural high of March. If we were to break this high, that would almost look like a trend reversal. And the thing that I love about this high right here is it's 48K and we're moving into Satoshi's 48th birthday. So we made a little joke, it'd be funny if we got to 48K on Satoshi's birthday, but I think that's a little too soon. That's not a prediction, by the way. Definitely not a prediction, just having fun. But yeah, I don't think Bitcoin, it would have to go up by 100% in 36 days. It's done it. Bitcoin's done it before. I mean, it's the best performing asset ever. But with this market, I don't know. Oh my God, I don't know what it would take. It would be hilarious if that happened though, because it would prove like how important Satoshi Nakamoto's birthday is. I mean, you never know. Maybe because Hal Finney's birthday is May 4th. It's the mirror date of Satoshi. You got the 4-5 and the 5-4 for Hal Finney. And technically that eclipse in May is on the... oh shit. That's possible. That would be so funny though. But yeah. So Hal Finney's birthday is May 4th. It could definitely go up 100% in 66 days easily. That'd be so hilarious because that's the day before the lunar eclipse. And typically we should expect a correction then. May 5th is a full moon. So, I mean, maybe peak up into it and then have like what happens sometimes on eclipses, which we rise into it and then have big corrections. But it's hard to call big corrections for May. I'm more looking to September, October, the end of Jubilee. Anyways, just having fun with it. But I wanted to show you that the technical targets do bring us up somewhere into the 4236, the 4618, which is somewhere around 40,000 to 43,000. And that would be a key area to expect for a relief rally. And an automatic rally in Bitcoin, it has done that before. So let me just quickly show you. Note how the bottom of the 618, the bottom of the golden pocket, when you have it in linear, it is perfectly at that level I was telling you about, the 48K. But we're going to turn this back now to based in log scale. And you're going to see if we were to get to 40K to 43, that would be right under the 702. Normal, totally normal price action on a relief rally. It seems dramatic, but it's very possible in crypto. I would personally start looking to de-risk anything above this golden pocket, anything around this 618. It's kind of my idea. Now, another thing we're seeing here is we have our 236 identified at 22K flat, and that's perhaps something to consider if we're going to get another pullback between now and the upcoming full moon. And if we were to pull back to 22K, we would still be in a higher low structure, okay? Because we have low, high, low, or higher low, higher high. And coming back here would keep us in structure unless we started a trade below 21,400. So pulling back to there is not bad. It's not weird. But I just wanted to show you that short-term fib pull. Actually, let me get back to it really quickly to see if there's anything we could identify from the fibs. Remember, I need to turn this back to linear scale. And that 22, yeah, it's basically just the top. It's basically just the top of the structure. So really nothing to say here. Let's look at our moving averages. It's really what I want to look at right now. Okay, this is great. So you can see this white moving average right here. The 55 simple has crossed above the 200 exponential. And you see when we got to the 200 exponential right here around January 16th, we stalled out. Then we returned back to it. And this cross, I think, is pretty key. We already got the 55 above the 200 simple moving average. Getting it above that 200 exponential is dope because that's a faster moving average. And this 55 crossed for the first time since fucking January 2022, over a year ago. Okay, huge. Pay attention to this stuff. It's big. Let's look at our EMAs. Okay, and this is good too. So we see the 34 EMA on the daily is holding. We've gotten a back test of the 34 EMA recently, and holding that moving average would definitely be key. But what we're starting to identify is the 13 sloping to the downside. So that's not great. But if we just hold here, keeping those moving averages squeezed together is a good sign. Probably more of a sign of bounce than it is full-blown correction, breaking support, and going to another leg lower. Let me get out a Kexio chart because I don't even know what the hell that exchange is. Okay, we're going to scan everything right now really quickly and then get to ETH. I want to speed through ETH and XRP and then get to your guys' questions. Okay, so you can see right here, holding this 13 thus far, we have the 21, could be a potential support, keeping us on a higher low. EMAs are looking beautiful on the 2-day. EMAs are looking beautiful on the 3-day. EMAs are starting to look amazing on the 5-day, and this is a really solid signal to get. So March 1st, the day after we have our monthly close, will be a 5-day candle closure. And if this 21 starts pinching above that 34, that's a very strong sign. So what this means is if we were going to have a massive shakeout really quickly, these moving averages would probably be a back-tested range, and then you're probably going to bounce right back up and hold them. So just to show you, the 5-day has not been in a bullish posture since January 2022 again, and it's just starting to flip into bullish posture now. That's huge, okay? So even if we get a short-term pullback right now, I'm buying it. I don't care because it's all these moving averages, all these signals are telling me that we're in trend reversal energy right now. Now we have our weekly. We've started to see a cross above the 21 by the 13. Gorgeous. Here's the huge one though, and I'm gonna finish off on this. All right, this 200 squeezing together, 200 exponential, 200 simple. I talked about it in the last podcast as well. That's big. All right, we need to break above that. So getting a weekly close above this moving average and even this 55 simple, that would really be a signal for me for Bitcoin going into 30K. Okay, so I'm going to finish with that. You guys could take that note. We have the 55 simple on the weekly sloping down still. We have this 8 sloping up. It's going to most likely be a held support. All of this is pinching together, but it's those 200s that we have to get above. Bitcoin can close above 26K on a weekly. There's a really small probability that we are, I don't want to confuse people. If we close above this 55 simple, we're likely to go into 30K. Would be very, very low likelihood of keeling over and going below 20K if that happened. So that would be a very confirming signal of continuation of a relief rally, getting above those 200s and that 55 simple. Hope that makes sense without me confusing you. Let's get to ETH. Okay, ETH is actually looking pretty solid on the weekly. I'm going to keep it macro because you can see right here, we have rejections at this 200 exponential, but here we started to ride on it, and now we're getting this 8 moving average is starting to cross above that 200 exponential moving average, and we're holding all of these levels. So for ETH, I would like to see a weekly close above this 55 simple. Closing above the 55 simple would be ideal, and look at that. We have the daily 55 crossing above the 200 exponential, just like Bitcoin. So that's great. And also very similar with ETH on the daily. It's holding the 34. Okay, I don't really need to say too much about ETH because all my analysis that I share for Bitcoin is pretty much identical. They are in lockstep with each other. Which tells me that if Bitcoin is going to start a breakout above 26K, we'd probably see above 1720 on ETH and then move into 2000 pretty quickly. And I think at the initial launch, we're going to see Bitcoin move a little bit more hardcore off the initial relief rally, and it's going to regain dominance, and then it'll flood a little bit of its liquidity slowly each day as we get closer to the eclipses into the altcoins. That's the normal cycle that we have. Okay, so upside, we're looking at break above 1700 on a weekly would be ideal, but like a 2-day, 3-day, that would be a signal for continuation. And then on the downside, if we can't hold this 34 exponential moving average, 1560 is in the cards for a retest. And then we have this trading range around 1500 flat. It's possible because we have these back tests here. We have a couple wicks, and then we have all of this trading here before we popped back up. So this was the February 13th low that I told you guys about. Perfect. Literally, you could see how dramatic that was. That was the lowest move that we got thus far in this cycle going back to the start of January. So definitely solid. Let's look at XRP. XRP is not looking incredible comparatively to what we were seeing with Bitcoin and ETH. It's really so suppressed. Okay, this is not great. So we have the 8 crossing below the 55. We call that a wolf cross, but it's happening on a down. It's happening for more of a bearish sentiment. We could see this 200 exponential is a clear rejection point on the daily chart, so that's not good at all. The 200 simple is like the heart line of this squeeze between the 200 exponential and our 55 simple. We're below all of these moving averages right now. We're below everything on XRP is like, whew. Okay, so this is just like hanging on by a thread. We have everything looking in bearish posture on the daily. And the weekly too. Yeah, looks like shit. Just being honest. 5-day looks like shit. This looks, yeah. Sorry, I don't know. I don't really know what to say at this point. 4-hour looks like shit. Yeah, this is, yikes. Okay, let me show you why this is happening though, so people don't feel like I'm making fun of their mom. Because that's what happens when you talk about XRP and you give the truth. Some people just take it so personally. It's like they're talking crap about your mother. That's the way humans get, man. So let me just show you this really quickly. So we have this clear descending resistance line. Now, just pay attention to all these rejection points, and this is what's exciting me because we're getting really close to a break of this. I mean, damn, the apex of the last move that I shared with you guys about a month ago was somewhere around March 20th. And in the shorter term pull, you're looking at about March 8th. So soon, around before the third quarter, or basically the full moon of March. So just keep that in mind. We're really coiling up in the structure here. And if we do start breaking weekly closes above 42 cents, that would be ideal for continuation up. But as of right now, got our 236 sitting at 45 cents. 45 cents is good, but no parties until above 54. And all of these short-term moving averages look horrible. So there's really not much I could say. This thing is just hanging on by a thread. I would not mess with this project right now. Trading wise, if you're still accumulating it and you just want some of it for accumulation, then it's a game. So I'll let you guys know where I stand on this. I'm personally looking to buy a little bit more XRP soon. So even though all this looks like dog shit, I get the bigger picture. I'm not asleep. So I actually like when charts look a little shitty, when it's a project that I have conviction in and I've done a lot of research, and this is one of those instances. So you can see I have no emotions in this. I really don't care. If the chart looks like shit and it's undervalued, it's a buy. I like when things are boring and bloody, not when they're exciting. Exciting, not a good time to buy. So let's move on to DAG. Holy moly. Okay. It's been a while since I've looked at this, I guess. I'm going to quickly pull a fib. Switch this to log. Okay, so here we are. We have DAG Constellation. We're looking at about a 92% pullback, so that's pretty damn good. This trend is clear. It's clean. Wow, it's very clean. Yep. It's really solid. Let me try this really quickly because I might be, nope, not really. No, this is still at a rejection point. So I like what I'm seeing. It's getting ready to make a move. It's been too long. It's been in a downtrend now for 550 days. But this rejection off the 236 and another low is a sign. So we need to break this high right here around the 382. Getting above 10 cents for DAG would be solid. But this is most likely your selling climax right now. And then on the relief rally, you have a battle point at about 12 cents, getting to the 0.5 fib. If you could conquer the 0.5 fib, you're looking at the low golden pocket territory. And I don't think this thing will go much higher. It would be lucky to get to the 702. I think most likely you'd want to start your de-risking in this territory right here around 15 cents if you're holding onto this thing right now. And that's beautiful because we're only at 5 cents now, and this thing did come back to 3. Now, what I don't like about this is it's a very new project. One thing that's positive about it is it launched before the C19 crash. So it's made it through like a horrible time frame. And it's not trading as low as the C19 trading levels like we saw with Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. I mean, even there's a lot of projects that have that. It's started, like, it blows me away how shitty some projects have been performing. They're trading lower than the C19 lows. So just keep that in mind, you know. This project is actually holding higher lows. So that's solid. It's not trading below this move right here of May 2021, but it's pretty much back there. So I would say for me, I want to see above 10 cents. And I got a couple more confirmations about 10 cents. One, it's your 382 fib. Two, it's this double top move right here before we had a backup. And after this backup, you have your finality of your buying climax. So right here was your SOS phase, SOS followed by a backup, and your backup is about where you're trading today. Backup is your last opportunity before we move into buying climax, excuse me. So we're getting above 10 cents will be getting us above the backup and above the 382, which is a signal of move into 618. That would just be a confidence play, not really too much ROI there. Now, as for the future of this, I gotta be very honest. If we have a stock market correction into September, October, and this thing breaks 3 cents, it's coming right back down to a fraction of a penny. I could see this thing going back to 0.007, 0.008 cents easily. And I know that's heartbreaking for some people, but swallow your pride. This stuff is all speculation. I don't care what contracts they have or what they're tied to or how many YouTubers are out there with their O faces. This is how it works. This backtest right there is nice to see, but this is still in an overall downtrend. All right. If it was to come up to 15 cents, it's still another lower high. All right. So please be careful with this shit. This is why I'm adamant about de-risking into April, May, because no one knows what's going to come in October. We have a very important eclipse. We have 1 year after the Shemitah. It's not any normal Shemitah. It's a Jubilee cycle once every 50 years. It's not a time to fuck around. And when I see charts that have very limited data, it doesn't make me feel confident. So I'm just being a real one with you guys. This thing, whatever it is, it still has opportunities to break substantially lower. So 3 cents is kind of like your best bet. Now let me look. We got some things here. I would call this probably your bearish fib pull level. And there we are. We're trading right at the 1618 right now. But we pierced below it and got down to this backup low, the backup phase low. This could really get bad. The 2618 on the downside is possible. Okay? So that's 1 cent. So if it was to come up to, 15 cents, we still have an opportunity now to drop another 93% to the downside off of that opportunity. Or sorry, technically it would be about here. Doesn't really matter though. It's all kind of the same, splitting hairs here. 90% correction, which would be an overall correction of 97%. And how many altcoins have I reviewed that have lost 98% of their value earlier, like around here? So this in plain English means this has a lot more to go to the downside. It's not through the worst of it yet. The worst of it is most likely this October, November for alts. As for Bitcoin, not probably the same. As for ETH, probably not the same. As for suppressed projects, not the same. This is not a suppressed project. This is nothing that went into price discovery because it joined the market and the game of crypto at the right time. If this thing wasn't able to be a part of this cycle and was back in 2018, 2017, then I would have so much data to work with. I could be a lot more confident. But this thing was in the right place at the right time. Everything did this if it was brand new. If it was OG coming back from the last cycle, it had a little bit more holding it back. And that's where we saw things like Dash and XRP and XLM, etc., not have price discovery. This thing just had price discovery because it was in the right place at the right time when the Federal Reserve is printing tons of money and just giving it away to the stock market and speculative investors. So I'll leave it at that. Be careful with this stuff. I know what I just said is probably the antithesis of what most YouTubers and most people are saying, where they're just selling everyone on like the positives. So I'm here to be the bearer of real news. 92% correction. There's still a lot more to go on this. And getting above 15, 16 cents would probably be miraculous at this time on this particular project. So let's move on to Stellar Lumens. Okay, so here's a good example of kind of what I was saying before about how we have the C19 crash over here, and Stellar Lumens traded literally almost into it. And if you look at the backup phase, this was your SOS. This was your backup. It's a lot more anticlimactic than the Constellation DAG chart, but we traded right back into the lows of it. So it's a very similar structure to what we just looked at in the last chart. We have a 91% correction, very normal, clear downtrend, probably with a clean trend line that you could draw. And again, this is another example of something that did not experience price discovery because we have an all-time high here back in January 2018 of around 91, 92 cents. And then you have over here, price was unable to get above that price from the prior cycle. So now we're looking at a very long-term Wyckoff method, basically an accumulation cycle. We have buying climax, selling climax, automatic rally. Now here you're in your LPSs or your last point of support, potentially with a spring in play. So if XLM is going to have a spring, it could really go back into 3 cents again. And I know that's heartbreaking for some people to think about, but again, just opportunity for the wolves, because let's look at the possibilities of an automatic rally. So we have a chance for this to get back up to 23 cents into 31 cents. And if that's the case, then you're getting out before a return down to 6 cents or even 5 cents. That is an opportunity to take the profits and roll it back in at a lower price, effectively accumulating more XLM. XLM is a project I have zero doubts about for the future, zero. So I would not be as offended if it went down to these prices because it would just be an insane opportunity. Even if it never has price discovery ever again, you're still able to get in at 5 cents before another cycle's return up to 1,000% gains. Even if we didn't go into new price discovery, you see how I'm being here? Like how I'm playing the conservative game? I don't care what people think about price discovery. The same thing that YouTubers were selling the XRP army on with Stellar Lumens in the last cycle that never came to fruition is the same shit you're going to hear in 2024. Quote me on that. This is the red pill, all right? I do not care about price discovery. I am trading the market. I'm trading what the market gives me. So that's why I accumulated a little bit of XLM recently just to dip my toes. I know I'm getting in at its insanely low prices. So any relief rally into the 30-cent territory for me is an opportunity to de-risk and then roll over my profits later on into a retest of either the 236, because I'm not saying it needs to go lower. I'm playing this technically. But if the 236 can't hold, you're at a double bottom. If the double bottom doesn't hold, you're at a real spring, which could bring you down to 4, even 3 cents. And then that would be in alignment with a long-term Wyckoff cycle where you have buying climax, selling climax, automatic rally, spring. Okay? It looks something like this. That's your spring. This is your test. Don't look at the time frame, by the way. I'm just showing you the structure. There, right here, you could consider that your sign of strength. Backup that back tests this level, and then you have either, will this go into price discovery? I don't know. Nobody knows. Or does it just stall out at at a triple top? You know, it really just depends. But 1,000% return is like what? 20 years in the stock market, and you could get that done in 2 years on this. So yeah, guys, you got to think this way. You got to think like the opportunity way, not the whole like hype beast, the insanity that gets spread about XLM's going to $15 or whatever shit like that. Stuff is confusing people. It's making people never take action. And I think that's why the Bearable Bull and his community has welcomed me, because they see the importance of this type of analysis. All right, let's get into some of the live chat. Just going to back it up. Okay, I got the whole live chat with us. I'm just going to drink some coffee. Okay, let's get through this. Oh, thank you, Mr. Jansen. That's very helpful. All right, you guys want me to look at... We already looked at Theta like super recently. There's no need for that. Didn't we just look at Theta like really recently? Okay, jazz me. Let's do it. Got about 30 minutes. By the way, I love you guys. If you made it this far, it's because you're used to the spice. All right, so this is a coin that I just started accumulating. Really recently. People are like, whoa, he's getting a new coin. And yeah, I didn't announce this publicly because I just don't want to be involved in that. I kind of want to keep it to you guys because you know how I play this game. I am a trader. I'm trading what the market gives me. I see an opportunity in this. This chart, get ready for this. This looks like garbage. Seriously. Like, I'm just being real. 99% loss. Like, shit coin. But is it still an opportunity? Yes, sir. So I like this rejection at the 236. It gave me an opportunity to start accumulating a little. I have a little bit more conviction that we're probably going to hold 005. But if we come down to 005, there's a swipe to 004. And that to me is an accumulation opportunity. So I would just be balancing out my position between 004, 005, and that's it. And then any break above the 236, I do see this thing going pretty much straight to the 0.5 fib. All right, that's straight to 3 cents. So for me, getting in around 005, we're looking at about 500% returns in short order. And we know this coin can move because look at this. Right here, it went up 355% in less than 2 weeks in a downtrend. All right, so I'm not playing this as a long-term hold. Maybe in the year of 2024, when we get to the beginning of the year, around the winter time, I might reconsider if I want to keep this as a venture capital play. But I think this is a very, very short-term swing trade for me at best. I just looked at this. A couple people brought it to my attention, and I see the opportunity. Now, a lot of people, they're probably being like, well, do you know who's behind it? Do you know, like, I don't waste any of my energy on that shit because none of that matters, because I bet you people were being taught about this thing over here, about all the positives and all the people that are involved and all the connections, and it lost 99% of its value. So I've been open with you guys for 2 years about this. I don't give a shit who's tied to these projects. They're all just employees. They are employees. This is like going to a Wendy's and somebody's cooking you a burger. That's who works for these tech companies. And the Wendy's has a general manager, and that's Brad Garlinghouse. That's all this is. This is optics. It's theater. This thing lost 99% of its fucking value. It's a shit coin. I don't care what's positive about it. I don't care who's tied to it. You're investing in Wendy's. You're investing in your local Wendy's. And I'm just here to take advantage of it. I really don't care. I don't burden myself as a decoder and somebody who's interested in the esoterica. I don't burden myself with any of the bread and circus. It's really a waste of my time. And that's what I get hit with the most. And some people don't like that about me. And I get why they don't like that about me. I totally understand why. But this is my life. I know where I need to put my attention to serve my purpose. And because I did really well in the last cycle, I know that my system and my methodology profits me. I know it works. It works really fucking well. So when I make my moves accordingly, I have risk management in place. I'm very well aware of what I'm doing. And I'm okay at taking a loss. If this thing goes to zero, I'm okay with that because I only put enough in this that I'm willing to lose, right? This is all kind of stuff that matters way more than who makes the project and the white paper and all that bullshit. By the way, you could pay anyone on Fiverr to write you a white paper and have a blockchain company designed within 48 hours. And if you have enough money to advertise it, you can start paying influencers to go talk about it on YouTube and Twitter, etc. And you could have a full-blown, positive-looking, working technology that's within a fucking week. Seriously, there's 30,000 altcoins at this point. This is just another one of those at the bottom of the barrel. So I'm being super real with everyone because this is the shit that people need to hear. Like, for real. This is what's going to change people's perception of how markets actually work. Now, if you have a friend that's working at Jasmy, you know somebody who works for this company, that's awesome. You know, you have a direct connection. Good for you. Let me know how the milkshakes taste. But beyond that, I don't invest my emotions into this stuff. It's irrelevant to me. So yeah, there's my play. There'd be my accumulation zone somewhere between 0.004, 0.005, and then a break above the 236. I think maybe you'd have a little bit of a short-term play at 1 penny, just because we have a little bit of sideways trading range here before the break. And then above that, I think it's probably going straight to the 0.5 fib, somewhere around 3 to 4 cents. 3 to 4 cents would be gorgeous. And then we have this peak right here around 0.48. So that would be probably a little overextended depending on the speed at which this all occurs. So then we would check in with RSI. We would check in with some of our macro time frame analysis. Okay, let me get to this. Revive Healing says, we always look at data. I know. I want to stop. I think we've looked at it way too many times. No decoding in this, please. Gomes says, willing to debate WatersAbove head-to-head. You don't want to do that. I don't debate people. I would just hug you. I would just give you a big hug. Just give you a big hug. I don't need to debate. Gomes, I'd just give you a big hug. That's all that would happen. It would just be you screaming into the void and me just hugging you. Fucking debates. Who wastes it? An enlightened being doesn't debate. All right, let me get to... So we went over Jasmy. We can't... Theta, I think, is a waste. Anchor. Okay, real quick. I literally just went over Theta, guys. Like, it's a waste of our time. So many Red Pill podcasts dedicated to that. Okay, let me look. I want to try to find the long-term data. Why? 1 second. Jeez Louise. Look at that W. Oh, wow. Okay, this has a ton of data. The logo is clearly an eye, and it's an eye within a hexagon. So that's a huge piece of symbolism. I don't know what this is about. It's probably a glitch. All right, let's see what's up with this. First and foremost. Yep. Okay, so you can see bearish fib, swing low to swing high in reverse from right to left. We got the 1618. We pierced through it shortly, but that was a huge buying opportunity. Woo! Because now this thing is already up off this 180%. So yeah, that's pretty solid. And then this double toppy thing that has happened, it's very similar to the theta chart, I believe. So keep that in mind. 0.5, 5 cents is big. And okay, I don't like what I'm seeing actually. I'm going to tell you why. No, this is not good. All right. I'm not trying to scare people who have this shit, by the way. I'm just letting you know what I don't like about what I'm seeing. Okay, look at this. So you see where I have it marked? Rejection. Really noticeable rejection because the wick on this is even bigger than it was back in August. And you see the level that this used to be? This was the support after your crown top distribution. So you have your crown, you have your first sell-off, which is what the whole market did back in May of 2021. Then you had when Bitcoin broke to 69K, it went up the same way Bitcoin did, double top, and then it rolled down and it's supported here multiple weeks. So this is weekly candles, by the way. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the break. That's a lot of back tests of 0.055 or 0.55. And then rejection, rejection. And when I pull this fib now from swing high to swing low, regular bullish fib, it's the 0.5 fib. That's the level that we call dead cat bounce. So if this shit does not break the 0.5, that's scary. And right now, I would not touch this project because there's no opportunity in it. If you were in it back here, then great. But the fact that we got above the 382 and just in a single weekly candle smacked into the same rejection level that used to be a prior support, I don't like that. Not good. I can't make much money on this thing. You know, at best 70, 80% if I was to get in now. So if Bitcoin is going to go down to like 21K or 22 in the short term, like flat 22, like I was sharing in the analysis earlier, then this thing might go straight to the 236 and then there could be a little bit of a chance. I mean, I guess maybe 170, 180%. It's still big, you know, it's fucking a lot if you have a lot of money to put in the market. But if you just have a little bit, which is how I would play this coin anyways, I would not put more than like 5% in this project. Then yeah, it's not much of an opportunity. But hey, what we'll look at now is some more macro analysis. So we have a 93%, almost 94% correction. This is clearly a selling climax, and this is clearly the start of an automatic rally. But with crypto, automatic rally could end at the 0.5 fib. And the reason I know this is because that's what happened to Ethereum back in the day. Ethereum, when it topped out in 2017 into early 2018, it had about a 94%, 95% correction, and then it only went up to the 0.5 fib when you're looking at it based in logarithmic scale with the log setting turned on. I'm not saying that this is not going to go higher, by the way. I'm just letting you know what has happened in the past. That's what a solid technical analyst would do. You study the past to determine the probabilities of what's to come. Now, what I like about this also from the long term is we are up 1,000% from the C19 crash. So this is looking healthier than some other things. It's much more of an opportunity. One of the things I don't like about this is very limited data. We're only going back to 2019, so it did not experience the last cycle. Now, I will reiterate what I said about Constellation DAG. This thing got lucky. It was launched at the right time. It was in the right place at the right time. If we have this in the prior cycle back to 2017, it would be a different ballgame. This also looks horrendous. This thing launched and went a 95% loss off launch. Then, of course, the Fed started printing money and everything went up at this moment. So this is just how the market worked during that C19 year. Yeah, so I mean, couple positive things, couple negative things. For me, I'm not interested just because of where this is at and how close we are to the finality of this automatic rally. Now, getting to September, October timeframe, this shit could definitely drop back to the backup lows. So this is your, if you compare it to the other charts we were looking at, this is your SOS, this is your backup. Now your backup is looking around 006. So let me mark that off for you guys. All right. So that's your backup low, closure low on the weekly. Okay. So that would look like a spring to me. It would look like this. You have your buying climax, then you have your selling climax, you have your automatic rally, then you have your spring. Okay. Test. Then SOS, backup, price discovery. All right. So just consider that lows are potentially in the cards for this project later because it has yet to backtest that backup low. It doesn't need to, but with such limited data and with the state and condition of our economy as a whole, I'm not super confident in stuff like this. And I'm not interested in the short term in a project that is so close to the golden pocket already. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, we went over Anchor, we went over Jasmine, bada bing, bada boom. Zem, Z-E-N. You're doing amazing, Mr. Jansen. Thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate you. Okay, let's look at Proppy, whatever that is. I've heard of this before. I think I've done some TA on this. Is it Pro? P-R-O? Yes, P-R-O USD. Let's see what we got. Ugh. Okay, I have to find it. Oh, probably the crypto chart's going to help me with the longest data. Yuck. Yuck. Oh, God. All right. Well, what are we looking at? It looks like a golf club. So here we are, guys. We're at the par 9 in Sunshine State, Florida. And we're going to be teeing off against Tiger Woods. Jeez Louise, this is a... Whew. This makes me shiver. Oh, I got to take a sip of coffee before this one. I need like an angel to kiss my forehead right now. All right. Sorry, I can't die today. Ooh, look at these wicks. These wicks don't lie. Okay, I don't even know what to say about this thing. I don't even know, because everything is just like... This looks like cardiac arrest on a heart monitor. Oh, okay. Enough jokes. Clear perpetual downtrend, clear selling climax because of about a 90-something% loss. This thing is still in price discovery, by the way. This is price discovery to the downside. No structure, no prior chart data. Horrendous. Rejections at the 236 after the the selling climax. And we're kind of just in no man's land, floating between 45 cents and 44 cents. And then the next layer down, I would assume, is somewhere at the middle, the perfect average between this 32-cent and current trading level, which puts us about 40 cents. Now, as for buyback, maybe 114 to 125, maybe. It's just such limited data, and this thing is horrible. Look at this jaggedness and the tight trading range. Like, I'll just teach you guys something really, really simple. You have a very, very tight, jagged trading range with random days where this thing is just shooting up on wicks and then having sell-off. So let's look at the wick. 25% wick. 49% wick. 30% wick. 47% wick. This is shit. This is retail having fun juggling around a hot potato. Basura. I would never touch this. But now a 2% position in this, maybe at the end of the Bitcoin halving, could be a good opportunity if this thing didn't go to zero. Because shit coins like this are the ones that go up, tens of thousands of percent when we're in a bull cycle where Bitcoin is in price discovery. So the moment Bitcoin breaks 70K, if this thing is still around, having 1% position in this could be very lucrative. I'm not telling people to buy it. We still have a ways to go until that day. But as for right now, this is trash. I'm going to mark this off in case I ever have to look at it in the future and burden my eyes. I need to have fun, man. If I don't have fun in this, I wouldn't be able to make it to 200 or 100 straight podcasts and doing all the videos that I do. I wouldn't be able to. I have to have fun. Lou V, I talked all about the esoteric course a little bit earlier. I am not even close to finishing it up yet, so I just wanted to let you know that I will have it. I will have it ready for you guys. Some promotional material, probably in 3 to 4 months from today. Who knows? But with me, I could wake up one day and just start working through it. Okay, last chart. We're gonna look at. We got to pick one more. Oh, we shouldn't have needed to time anyone out. I don't know what's going on here in the chat. Did I was just having fun with Gomes. I wasn't trying to be. Oop, that's my timer. All right, I got 5 minutes, family. Gomes, I love you. I wasn't trying to make any problems. Not that I need to worry about that. This is my podcast, but I was just having a good time, blowing kisses. All right, we got to pick one more. Okay? Matic, I think we went over recently. We looked at S&P earlier. Love Stonks, love you. I looked at S&P earlier. Okay, I got to make a decision. Zen? Zem? Zim? Zen? That sounds like a pronoun. Hey, what's your pronoun? It's a Zem. I'm a Nemzem. And that means that when I wake up, I feel like I'm kind of a man, but then sometimes I feel like the letter X. And then I slowly go from feeling like an X to an N. I'm a Zen Nem. Okay, let's pull up a couple of these. I'm a Zimzer. Sir, this is a Wendy's. All right, lots of data here. It's my dream to make a comedy podcast, by the way. It's my dream. I'm working towards that. That's going to be the... Oh, shit. Okay, wow. Whoa. All right. Zemnem. Look at you go. 2015. Okay, crazy. This is a good one to end on, actually, because I could really do some educational spit and flames right now, some clear pills. All right, so November 2015. My God. Holy shit. Oh my goodness. Is that 2.4 million % gains? Whew. I'm sure one of the they-thems would want to become a Zemnem if they knew about this. Whew. 2.4 million % in 2 years? Get the fuck out of here. I mean, it was short-lived, like only a couple days to get in on this juice, but fuck. All right. Clearly the double cycle that XRP had. This is like that double cycle. And it benefited, oh my goodness, that 2017 cycle was everything. Okay, I think this is done. I gotta say, I don't think this is possible to really go much higher ever again. And the reason I'm saying this is not to offend people. I mean, if you were offended by the last couple things I said, then you're definitely asleep. But just to be honest with everyone here, this type of thing is probably... Oh, okay, I'm going to slow myself down because I got to go. Condition number 1, 2 million % gains. Then number 2, we never went into price discovery in 2021. So it's exhausted. It's toasted. It's done. It should have went up more if it was going to continue being this bullish, blast off token. But it went up in a straight line, 2 million % in 2 years. That's insane. Had a 98% correction, so it's no different than any other altcoin. Had a 98% correction, and then never broke into price discovery. So this is a buying climax, a long-term buying climax, selling climax, automatic rally. And here we are now in what could potentially be called a spring, but I wouldn't be too certain of that just yet. So in this recent cycle, it's lost 97% of its value. And if we're going to spring out back to 1 penny again, this thing could really, it could go to a penny flat. Yeah, so this thing did great one time, but I don't like this lower high. That's a problem. 98% loss, lower high on the automatic rally, which should have been price discovery, but it wasn't, and then a 96% correction thus far in the last cycle. And I can't confirm spring because we're just holding support right there, barely. But we got to be open-minded at the end of this year. So this could definitely have a short-term automatic rally, then spring out like that. And by the way, these prices of around 1 penny are short-term, just like here. That was short, just like there. That was short, just like there. That was short. And this is all opportunity, even here. When it goes to lows, it follows up with some nice, juicy, bullish price action. You could see right there, even 300%. I mean, that was 300% right there. And we've been talking about automatic rallies on this cycle to be only 2 to 300%. So consider this. So let me show you guys what we're working with. Oh yeah, this is underperforming now. See, okay, think about this. It had a 96% correction, but we're not even close to the 236 right now, guys. So now it's underperforming because it had the insane cycle already. Toasted. This is not Bitcoin. Nothing else is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the only project that'll just keep on going up and up and up over and over and over again. And people might want to debate this, but you can't because that's what the charts are showing, right? Bitcoin going from a fraction of a penny, just like this bullshit, and then it went up to $69,000. This thing has only gotten to $2, right? I mean, the performance is sick, but it's like you needed to be in the right place at the right time. And now holding on to this project, if you only studied this last cycle and you thought that all altcoins will just repeat what Bitcoin does, that's false. And now we're starting to see the reality of this stuff because it's old news. Same thing with Monero. A lot of that OG shit, it's probably done forever. Now, can it go back to 90 cents or $1 in the next cycle? Sure. Maybe it could even go to the 1618 in this next cycle. So let me show you this. Let's just say we are at the bottom, just to save an argument. We could go up to $8 for sure. And that would be insane, to have the opportunity to go from here to another 18,000%. That's what a lot of altcoins did in the last cycle. Now, this is probably how I would want to pull it. And I would be personally pulling it like this, probably somewhere around $4, maybe, if we're going to go into price discovery on this thing. So the 1618, it doesn't really do too much on this pull because you would still be in a lower high. So you see $3, and then $8 is about your 4236. So yeah, for me, I would say 8 is probably the highest this thing will ever go again if it is going to go into price discovery. But because it's an OG coin, it already had the 2 million % gains, big 98% sell off, lower high on the automatic rally from our last bull run, never went into price discovery, then a 96% correction on this return, then on a local fib pull, barely over the 236. I mean, you kind of see where I'm going here. It had its time to shine, and now the sun has blown out for this thing. So let me talk about the final things regarding the automatic rally. So anything above this 236, I would assume it's going to go into about 18 to 24 cents. And we have this clear double top here, this M pattern, by the way, which is a bearish pattern. It turned out to be a bearish pattern. Oh God, another thing I'm noticing is it traded lower than the C19 lows recently. Okay. Everything I just shared with you is just education. It's to help you guys see how this is working so that you can take these nuggets of wisdom and apply it to charts that you look at so you could be able to determine, like, should I be involved in this or not? Okay, I really went all in on this particular project. Mostly because I was having so much fun with the pronoun thing before. But this thing traded below the C19 crash. I mean, garbage. It should not be below this, okay? This right here would be like if Bitcoin was trading at $2,000. But, sorry. When Bitcoin was trading at 3,000, it went to 69,000, and this thing couldn't even break its all-time high. Bitcoin was 18,000 here, and then Bitcoin was 69,000 here. Think about this. Bitcoin was 18 to 20,000 here, and it was 69,000 here. Just spitting facts. Bitcoin was $3,000 here, and when Bitcoin came down to here, it was $15,000. It was a 5x higher than here, whilst this thing is trading lower than it was, which would be like Bitcoin trading at $2,000. You see why Bitcoin is a safer play if you don't know how to make moves in this market? Because if you just are all in, altcoin maxis, which are equally lethal, I know that's going to offend people, but you're learning from somebody that benefited from all the coins, including Bitcoin. Bought it at $7,000 to $8,000, sold it at 55, 60, 63, de-risked all of my position, made a ton of profits. I even made profits on XRP, which was an underperforming coin. So it's coming from somebody that did it all by looking at charts, not by listening to other YouTubers, influencers, hoping for the day that never comes. So when I'm looking at stuff like this is a lot of red flags. And I hope this was educational to wrap up the end of Red Pill Podcast 100. So yeah, at best, maybe 15, 16 cents. If it gets to 24, that would be a big signal to GTFO, because that would probably start to roll over into the golden pocket. Underperformer in the short term. Probably not going to see crazy price discovery until our next cycle, if you're lucky. And I wouldn't want to put more than like 3 or 4% in this project just because of everything that I've said so far. All right, family, I do have to go. I decided to take this a couple minutes later. Let me just finish things off. All right, family. All right. I really appreciate you guys. Go ahead and vote in this for next week's episode. We made it. We made it to 100 podcasts. Next week is the 101, which is the master number 11. And I'm looking forward to Red Pill Podcast 200 already. I mean, maybe in the future, every like 20 podcasts or so, we'll do a live stream. We'll see. I had fun doing this one. It was very last minute. Next time I'll definitely plan it out further in advance for you guys. So this way it's not like, seeming like something that if you couldn't make it, it's disappointing. I wanted to try to do this regardless, but got about 160 people with us, which is great. And I appreciate you guys. So remember, comment on this Red Pill podcast for next week, and I'll be seeing you guys in a couple days. Probably do a YouTube video this week. We'll see how things go. I'm packed full in my schedule. I'm going to be connecting with Archaic soon, Jason Brashears, as well as Crypto Coffee. I know me and Logan over at Decode Your Reality are going to be doing a podcast as well. So going to be making a ton of connections. I think Donut Factory might even have a podcast coming out. I shared that one-on-one podcast that I did. Definitely go check out the one-on-one podcast, because we didn't really talk about markets or crypto at all. It was very esoteric and it was a fun conversation. So I love you guys. Wishing you an amazing rest of your weekend in the Matrix. Much love.